Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jet Radio 1400. I'm Alan Carpenter. This is the half hour we spend with the team, the gang. I'm trying to come up with a clever way to say Team Catania, but I'm trying to think. I don't know how to describe this bunch, Sam.
Oh, I do. A scumbag painters. Usually. That's usually what everybody goes with.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of respect in the industry.
No, I think
not us. I'm talking about
painters. Period.
Itself.
Yeah, painting is usually the bottom contractor.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Part of that is because people think it's easier than it is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, until you start to try to do it yourself and you realize that your home job, a very simple job, still doesn't look professional.
Right. I'd like to thank AC for setting us all up and being the mastermind behind all of this.
The mastermind.
Yeah. You like that, right?
I like that.
I'd like to introduce Joe Catania.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Joe.
And we have a new guest, Ruffles.
Hello.
The famous Ruffles, the infamous Ruffles.
Yeah.
And we want to, before we get started, I'm sure a lot of you know, give me your phone. I'm sure a lot of you know about Ruffles. Ruffles he's been on probably half a dozen TV commercials. Mm-hmm. Ruffles he's behind the voice of Cooking with Ruffles, which you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm going to play this, and it's just phenomenal. You got to hear Ruffles in this. You can find all of our commercials on YouTube, going to Sam Catania Painting, our channel on YouTube.
So what are we baking other than our bun in the oven? Oh my God, call 911.
Oh, it's like the worst commercial of all time. I love it.
Yeah.
Don't get burned by the competition. Call Sam Catania Painting today. And from all of us.
Now, I have to say, for people who, if the whatever handful of people out there who have not seen your commercials, and you hear Ruffles' high voice, you need to see the visual of Ruffles in comparison with that voice to get the irony of it.
Yes.
Wow.
Ruffles is a solid $4 bills. Ruffles is a little boy.
Yeah. He is a good size and a tall, just a big frame, big man.
Yeah, he's
a
big dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he gets that
high-pitched voice.
I have no idea. We were in the office yesterday. It was at the end of the day. It was the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Ruffles pulls out the Cooking with Ruffles edition voice, and everybody lost it. It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You never know. You never know.
So
such is life in marketing and advertising. We were talking off air, and I was talking to Ruffles about how when they give you, and it's happened in my career, something really silly to do, really your only option if you're going to do it is to just throw yourself into it and do it with everything you got if you're going to do it. There's no use saying, I'm going to do this silly thing, but I'm too cool to give it 100%. That just doesn't work.
For those of you out there who cannot, all right, let me put it like this. Based on what AC is talking about, for those of you out there who do not like our current commercials, the crazy, off-the-wall, out-of-the-box, very exotic commercials, we wouldn't have had to do these commercials had it been if you would remember the serious ones we were actually doing.
Yeah.
Our return on investment. Employees don't remember the serious commercials. 7 consecutive years worth. Ruffles, do you remember the serious commercials?
I couldn't recall a single one on it.
No.
Yeah. That was the real Ruffles voice.
That was the real Ruffles voice.
Yeah.
Not the. Hopefully, I won't spring on Ruffles. Interrupt anytime you want, and just give us the Ruffles, the voice.
But you're you're absolutely right though, because I was reading a story the other day, and it was about YouTube thumbnails. Like when you're rolling through YouTube, which video do I want to watch? And you know how inevitably most thumbnails say it's a guy reviewing food. There's a picture of the food, like the burger, and the guy's face going like the most extreme expression.
Right.
And they scientifically have found that people click on those way more often than if you had a really beautiful picture of the burger. You got to have that reaction. You got to have
the reaction, expression.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's got to be a little crazy to get people's attention and get that get that response. So it makes sense.
When we went into business, we started doing TV commercials. I can honestly tell you, we never considered stepping out of the box doing shock advertising.
No.
We wouldn't have.
Well, I think we were a little bit scared of it because, I mean, we didn't want the crazy reputation of, just making bad commercials. You know what I mean? Or just doing something wrong.
Right. And after 7 years of... People didn't remember who we were.
Exactly.
They didn't know who we were.
It's hard to stand out.
So we took that year off, and that's when Ruffles, you were the first one ever on our commercials, weren't you?
No. You had Randy.
Randy. But that was a serious commercial.
That was also
a little more serious, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So we got a trend going with Ruffles, and Dave Grove, who was on here before, on the radio with us before, and they work well as a team.
Yeah.
So it's so we had to do shock advertising.
I totally get it. Well, it's funny because I think I first met you or got to, maybe it was the second time I met you, but we were on the show together.
Yes.
And Sam runs out on stage and just is Sam.
You remember that?
Yeah, sure. Because everybody, I've been going out on stage a lot, so I'm used to it, But there are people that go out and say, "We're really happy to be part of this terrific event."
So,
which is not how Sam approached it.
This is great. So
that's not Sam's personality.
We were Sam Catania Painting. We were bringing the acts in. We were introducing the acts.
Right.
And I believe that was French Kiss.
I believe it was French Kiss, yes.
A shout out to French Kiss. Mm-hmm. So I remember like it was yesterday. I met
in your Oakleys. I remember that.
Yes. I met Mojan AC in the backstage, fenced in area.
And we're like, well, this guy's excited. Wow.
Yeah. I met them in a fenced in area and I said, guys, listen to me. I said, here's what we're gonna do. And I'm changing my clothes back there. They're like, what's going on? I said, when we introduce me, I'm going to pause. I'm going to hold off for, a few seconds. Mm-hmm. Give a slight pause. I'm going to shoot out on the stage. When it comes time to hand me the mic, do you remember all this?
I remember all of it, yes.
Hold the mic out in front. I'm going to shoot across stage.
Yep.
Take the mic out of your hand like WWF, WWE. And I'm going to let the show begin.
Right.
And it got I'm telling you, within, how long was I on stage? A minute?
Yeah, well, all I remember is you were so amped. And it was like...
Natural, everybody.
It was, first of all, it was natural amp. But number two, it's like we were saying, if you're going to make an impression on people, if you're going to get people worked up...
You got to bring it.
You got to bring it.
I remember being so amped that as I'm yelling to the crowd, I couldn't stay on my feet. I kept jumping.
No, you did not stand still. I remember that.
It was crazy. And I took a change of clothes because I had a feeling from yelling and throwing out T-shirts.
You were going to be soaked.
I was amped.
Yeah.
I was ready.
But it was a hot day, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was soaked. It was 1 minute, approximately a minute, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I was absolutely drenched like I just went through a workout for an hour.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with, Celebrate Erie.
Mm-hmm. I remember that, too. Yeah.
Yep. We were at Celebrate Erie, and same thing backstage. This was just
But by then,
recent.
Then I knew you. I was like, okay, I knew what to expect. That first time, I'm like, wow, this guy is... He's really into it, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, more recent. This was 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
This summer coming up will be 3 years.
Right.
I remember.
Right.
And same thing. Met in the back. We met Chember and Mare and everybody in the back, and I was amped. I was ready. I said, game on, here we go.
Yeah.
Same thing, just running back and forth across stage. You have to be, if you're going to go up there, make it known. Make a presence.
Yeah, well, you really have to, and that's one thing you learn very quickly when whatever you're marketing, a business, marketing a radio station, whatever you're marketing. I was talking to somebody the other day about clients we've had or people in this community who do make themselves stand out in marketing, and I said, I remember how many commercials I had to do for places family owned for 23 years.
Right.
Call this
So
number.
monotone.
Conveniently
Yeah.
located. Those things don't really get people's attention.
You brought it up last week. That's like my brother sitting in the corner talking.
Yep.
The
Well, it
stable
is.
one.
The stable.
Yeah,
So-
he is the stable one out of this group,
So
including
true.
me.
It is.
Yes.
It is completely. He's a man of habit.
He
That's
is.
my dad.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, when we went into business, in 2006, Joe and I went into business, and it was March 21st, Monday. Monday was our anniversary.
Yep.
And I didn't want Sam Catania Painting to be just a painting contractor. Our goal coming out of the gates was to be successful and specialize in
Right.
the painting industry, the painting aspect. And that was our goal for success, for a career. But beyond that, behind the scenes, I want us to be known as making a difference in the community, not just being a painting contractor.
That is true. We haven't even talked about that, but you're always, or at least many, many times when I go on social media and see what you're doing, it's connected to something in the community.
We try. We try to, even if it's behind the scenes, we don't put everything out there.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's true.
Even if it's behind the scenes, we try to make casual steps, gradual, continuous,
Right.
with changing and doing things within a community. We're tied into downtown Erie, the
Right.
mayor's office, City Hall, all of them.
Sure.
And we're tied into you guys.
You sure are.
So we didn't want to. I mean, our success, our goal was to be successful as painting contractors.
Mm-hmm.
But we never. When I came out of the gates, Joe's a little more timid and behind the scenes. Ruffles was.
Some would say he's a little more normal than the rest of us in this room.
I wouldn't call him normal. But
I don't know if I would go with normal, but
Well, you know more than I do.
and
the wrong
Ruffles,
word.
Ruffles was. Were you or Leroy? Who was the first employee? Leroy, I think. First, Ruffles was one of the first employees of Second Generation.
yes.
You remember that?
Him and
In
Leroy.
2006.
Yeah. Yep.
You and Leroy Menace simultaneously.
Yep. Same day.
So Ruffles
probably.
has been with us on and off since the first day.
Yeah.
And even then, I didn't want to. I still look at it. I don't want to just be a painting contractor. We are in a painting contracting industry, but
That's
still
just our job.
striving, taking leaps and bounds to help the community to be bigger than just
Oh,
a
yeah.
painting contractor.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also, to me, now maybe this is just my take, but when I look at how you guys market yourself, and you are innovative and you do take chances, I assume when I look at those that, these guys are going to know about the latest technology in paint. They're not going to use techniques that are 25 years old, which a lot of places, hey, man, we've been doing this forever. We know how it's done. Well, we're in different times.
Yes.
You can both add to this. You have to still stay with the old school, what works, but you have to also evolve with the new and up
Sure.
and coming.
Yeah, you definitely have to evolve with the products a little bit too, because I think things do change over time. You know, there isn't any example I can think of right now other than like taking care of people's woodwork in their houses and in their trim. Back in the day, filling nail holes really wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? And now it's like, I'm not doing a door frame unless I fill the holes. That's the new school compared to the old school. Old school was about protecting it. And new
Right.
school is about making it look nice and protecting it.
Right.
Because the products are so superior now that if you do it correctly, it's protected for a good 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Back
And
then, you do a really good job, and 5 years later, your wood frame falls off anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's,
not everybody I bring on this show can vouch for that, but Ruffles being here, Ruffles was taught also by Dad. Ruffles, that's where I met Ruffles.
Yeah.
Isn't that where I met?
through Gramps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
98.
Yep.
98?
98.
Yeah, he was
That's when I
working for
started.
Dad. So, and then when Second Generation took over, he just came with us, jumped
Right.
ship.
Right.
And Ruffles has seen you have to evolve. So you have to stay with the old. But you also have to learn the new.
Well, there's a lot of old school things that work, and there's no reason to change it.
Absolutely.
I learned from a 4-inch destroyer brush.
Exactly. And that is one of the things.
Frenchy windows.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things you appreciate now. That's for sure.
And the more variety, the more open-minded you are with all the different styles of learning and application, the more, the higher the ceiling is for growth and success.
And the easier it is for somebody who's training you. The person training you is going to have a lot easier time when you have an open mind and can learn all of this.
I mean, there are a lot of people, like you said, AC, there are lots of people out there that honestly only believe in one or the other.
Oh, yeah. It's very, very true.
Yeah, you're right. We see it a lot.
Yeah, in every industry, it's true, where you go, okay, this has worked forever, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is just how it's done. I think we all know, too, maybe non-professionals who are so stubborn and go, no, this is the way I've always done it. I don't care what it is. I think of those as like the guys who change their own oil. Well, it's cool if you want to change your own oil. You can save money that way, but you know what? Cars aren't really built for you to work on anymore.
Yes, correct. And I take, as the leader, I take a lot of pride in being open-minded. I listen to them guys to see, we're learning things constantly. We were on a job yesterday and we learned a few more things. If you think you've reached your ceiling with education, you're done.
Absolutely
you're done.
right.
It doesn't matter. You have to be open-minded to learn from these guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's absolutely true. I always tell the same story, but when iHeart took over here, they said, "Okay, guys, we're going to get rid of your desktops. You don't need those. It's 2018 or whatever it was. Here's a brand new, really nice laptop for all of you. This is what you work off of." And there was this moment with some people, I never had a laptop. I don't know what to do. And it's like, well, then you just have to learn.
You have to adapt.
And the company will teach you, and you can talk to all kinds of people who will help you, but you can't just do what you did with your Dell desktop in 1998, And it's just the way it is. It's the way the world works. However, the fundamentals of radio don't change.
Correct.
Yes.
That's why I said Ruffles he's seen it. If an employee gets stuck and they're not interested in being open-minded to learn, what am I looking for? Other applications, other techniques, other products?
If you just look at it, there are basically three basic things that we all do to paint. It's either you're going to spray it, you're going to roll it, or you're going to brush it. Well,
right.
Brush and roll usually go together because you can't trim with a roller. I mean, everybody knows that.
Very true.
Well, the thing is you run the sprayer, it's going to give you a certain look on certain things, and it's actually very useful to run the sprayer. But when I go inside somebody's house, if I were to take a sprayer with me and not have the brush and roll, you know what I mean? And then that's the thing is you have to basically learn the different techniques on how to do all the different aspects, because it's not like we just go in and paint your house. There's a lot of prep work. We've mentioned that before.
Yes.
I have to be able to run a caulking gun. I got to be able to run mud and be able to patch all of the holes in your wall, unless you want to keep them. Some people do, which is strange.
I take a lot of pride at 50 years old being open-minded still and having so much energy and having so much desire to grow, because as a leader, I think it's important. I think people look for that. Like, typically I was told way back that at the age of 40, you're starting to come down.
Right. That's that's the old conventional wisdom, yeah.
You're starting to come down.
Sure.
And you're not open-minded as you used to be, because you've learned so much. You feel that you have so much wisdom. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to learn your way. We do it this way. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want that.
I don't want that either. It's interesting you say that, because I'm 55, and I am always on my iPad. I'm going to try this app. Does this one work? Is this good? Rather than say, I just want to read the newspaper. Can I just have a piece of paper? It's people get caught in that trap young. You're right. You could be 41 and you're going down that road.
That's what I was told. Everyone says at the age of 40, you start
Going downhill.
Right.
You don't want growth anymore. You're pretty content. You don't want to be open-minded because, listen, I've been around the block. I've done that. No, you can probably teach me something. No,
Yeah.
I want more. And even at 50, I still want to learn. I want more.
Well, and even in your
grow.
industry, we talked about paint being different and some things being different. Also, the surfaces you're painting are different. They build houses differently than they did 20 years ago.
Oh, yes.
So that's a big deal.
evolve.
Yes.
And this is funny. Our general manager, Nate Moore. This is funny. These guys will laugh. Nate is 34 years old. Is he 34 or 35 now? I think he's 34. Nate's 34, yes. So Nate's 34.
Yeah.
If you talk to Nate on the phone and you don't see him, you think he's 55.
Maybe 60. Yeah.
He's
We love Nate.
far more monotone than my brother is.
Yes.
Like, ridiculous.
Yes.
And Nate, it's so funny because he and I are 15, 16 years apart.
Yeah.
And every estimate, because he and I both do estimates, we split them about 50-50. Every estimate he writes.
Right.
He's
Okay.
34
Old
years
school.
old, and he's old school as they come.
Yep.
He
Wants to
writes,
write
he
all
hands them
down.
to the secretary, Tracy. She
Yeah.
types them up on the QuickBooks. And me, 15, 16 years advanced, I do everything through technology.
Sure.
Yeah.
I go
Absolutely.
on Google Calendar. I write everything in Google Calendar. And once it's done, I have a system where through technology, not going to give all the secrets away, but through technology, I get them over to her.
Yeah.
And she just laughed. She's like, you two are like the opposite.
That's interesting.
Even energy levels. Nate said, yeah. Doesn't he, Ruffles?
And that's the thing is, Nate, he grew up with the technology, so he knows how to use it.
Yes,
he just
he does.
chooses
Doesn't
not
like
to.
it.
He's
Yeah.
incredibly
Absolutely. You hand him a
intelligent.
phone, he knows exactly what he's doing. He
He's
can navigate no problem.
Incredibly intelligent. Knows the ins and outs. Knows all the technology.
But doesn't use it.
Chooses to take a pen and tablet
Yeah.
And write it
everything.
down.
And he
That's
gives
his
her
comfort.
He gives her a novel, and if you could see her face sometimes, all the detail. Here's 3 pages.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
you've got
God.
to transcribe all of that.
She's looking like,
And she needs to turn that into something that looks like a bid.
who's older between you two? And even energy levels. It's funny because he jokes about my energy, and he said, "You're just exhausting."
Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you do have a lot of energy, my friend. That's for sure.
But it's just so funny because Nate, he's got a lot of people aren't computer literate,
Right.
Or technology. He's got it.
He
is
has no
very much
problem.
so.
Yeah, he has no problem with any of that.
Just knows what he likes.
I like.
The pen and paper.
Well, that's what makes for an interesting company. We only have 90 seconds left. Can you believe that?
Really?
Because I know how to use a digital clock now. I learned that skill.
Well done.
I'd like to throw a shout out to Otis 12. Thanks, Otis 12, for all your support. Otis 12, shout out. Thanks.
I'd like to throw a shout out to Otis 12 for their Old Bay wings, which are my favorite chicken wing
Which are
on planet
awesome.
Earth. I have eaten chicken wings in Southeast Asia. They do not measure up to
Yeah.
Otis 12 Old Bay wings.
Otis
There you go.
12 rocks.
Greatest wings I ever had.
Ruffles, no voice today?
No,
Come on,
he cried.
Ruffles!
Not today.
Yeah, we got a few syllables out of him. That's
All
good.
right, we did.
That's good.
We did good.
Oh, man.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks, AC.
Thank you very much. Sam, continue painting. Our guest for the half hour. We've got more coming up next.
Broadcasting from